Part 2, the Crucible of Consciousness. When someone is driven mad in this Earth experience, it's like rage quitting Call of Duty after getting spawn killed repeatedly by campers. Except you can't just turn off the PlayStation and walk away from consciousness itself. The difficulty is cranked to maximum by design, creating the most intense arena possible for souls to either transcend through love or fall deeper into fear-based illusion. It is intentionally brutal and designed to break you. This is a consciousness boot camp where souls either graduate through love or get recycled through fear. It's deliberately engineered to push you past your breaking point because nothing less than cosmic level pressure can forge a soul capable of choosing love over fear when everything else is on the line. I had to go through years of waking up every day with simultaneous dread of existence and fear so extreme that I'd literally Google how to stop existing without dying at 3 a.m., which sounds pretty ridiculous now, but felt completely rational at the time. At one point, I was carrying around a thumbtack in my pocket to gently stab myself in the leg whenever I decided I wanted to feel something that wasn't the grim meat hook clinch of depression. Look, you're going through your unique blend of shit soup. The masters I know had similar versions. The masters in history had their versions as well, though that was likely shit curry, let's be honest. Rare are the examples of those who had easy lives or easy awakenings who reached their true being. Karen consistently reinforced this principle. The suffering, the pain, she would tell me repeatedly again and again, it isn't the obstacle, it's the doorway to enlightenment. She expressed a clear preference for working with those drowning in psychological dormant, saying they are ripe for awakening. The caterpillar experiences complete disillusion, confusion, and increasing pressure while trapped in its cocoon, she explained. It's utterly unaware of the anguish coursing through its being, but the moment it reaches its absolute limit, that very suffering explodes into the birth of a gorgeous butterfly. That is awakening in a nutshell. Nature demonstrates this principle across countless phenomena. The seed must decompose entirely in dark soil before the tree can emerge. The snake sheds its complete skin when it outgrows its former identity. Forest fires, appearing destructive, clear dead undergrowth so new growth can receive sunlight. Stars themselves must collapse and die in spectacular supernovas to birth new stellar systems. This represents nature's fundamental law. Destruction and creation constitute the same process, merely viewed from different temporal perspectives. History's most celebrated awakened beings follow this identical pattern, but a few modern-day examples really stand out to me. Gangaji, born Tony Robertson, was a thriving acupuncturist in the San Francisco Bay Area who, outwardly, seemed spiritually advanced to those around her. Before her awakening, she took bodhisattva vows, practiced Zen, attended Vipassana retreats, and helped run the Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center. Yet deep down, she was consumed by incessant suicidal despair. When conventional achievements and spiritual pursuits failed her, she sought answers in India. There she met Papaji, who triggered an instantaneous awakening and transformed her from a woman contemplating death daily into a liberated teacher guiding thousands, the new Gangaji. Byron Katie had owned and operated a small real estate company in Barstow, California, by the time she reached her early 40s. During this time, she drank to excess, became addicted to codeine pills, weighed over 200 pounds, and slept with a .357 Magnum revolver under her bed, praying not to wake up each morning. I was so depressed for 2 years, I rarely managed to leave my bedroom. I was filled with self-loathing, suicidal thoughts, and rage, she wrote in her book, Loving What Is. Then one morning, out of nowhere, I experienced a life-changing realization. In 1986, she was institutionalized at a halfway house for eating disorders. There, sleeping on the floor because she felt unworthy of a bed, she experienced her enlightenment. She would later go on to become a renowned teacher and developer of the work, what she calls a powerful method of self inquiry. Perhaps the most extreme suffering and awakening story I've come across is Cornelius Christopher, a New Zealand native who lived his entire life with extreme mental health issues from childhood sexual and physical abuse. Too unspeakable to detail here. You can read about it in his book 1.0 if you prefer. Despite maintaining outward success through his marriage and award-winning architectural firms, he was dying inside. I met this master very early on in my path, mere months after his radical and abrupt awakening, when he was still doing donation-based sessions and just beginning to understand his newfound psychic abilities. In my first of 3 online sessions with him, he confessed that he had killed himself in 86 lifetimes before this one, and that I had done it in at least a few that he could see when he tapped in, and was moments away from making it 87 when reality literally imploded in on him. He had already informed his wife of the exact day he planned to end his life, but just days before his scheduled departure, something felt different, he told me. Following his frantically yelping cat onto the bed, cats know what's up, he was suddenly struck by what he described as an unforgiving, reality-shattering freight train of pure consciousness. That impact catapulted him into a quantum superposition, which is a state where multiple possibilities exist simultaneously. While his chakras exploded and then imploded, triggering a 4-hour energetic earthquake that obliterated every barrier between his individual soul and the infinite void. In this state, he was shown what would happen if he committed suicide and the ripple effects it would have on his wife and others, as well as the alternate paths his life could take if he chose to continue, revealing the vast potential of what he could become. Try to imagine what it's like taking 100 hits of acid at once, he told me. It was the single most horrifying and excruciatingly painful experience you can imagine. I mean, the sheer amount of God force behind that was just insane. The experience dissolved his separate self entirely, albeit in one of the most violent ways I've ever heard, and merged him with pure consciousness and awakening extraordinary gifts. He can mirror your deepest truth back to you, channel historical figures like Buddha or Tesla to raise your frequency, and heal your energetic blueprint through what he calls coherence healing. My seeker friends and I have tested him. He's revealed intimate details about our lives that no one else should know, and his group sessions regularly produce profound healings when he calls individuals out from the Zoom crowd. One master told me he was single-handedly responsible for removing her deepest fear from her after just one session with him. That is all to say, when the LCS decides you're needed and ready for awakening, it will force whatever purification is required. Your immediate comfort becomes irrelevant. It knows the most efficient route to consciousness, regardless of the cost. This truth defined the course of my unfolding, merciless awakening, as you will see in the later chapters. Just when I thought I'd reached a new limit and recovered, a merciless new threshold of pain and intensity emerged. This will likely not be your path, but ultimately, only the LCS and your soul know, and they always know best. Your ego's ideas be damned.